श्रीचैतन्यमनुपविष्टम् स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजतं सहगण रघुनाथं संस्तजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयिता कृपाबद्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने गौरवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबना संबुधे पादाम्बुजय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुगावराजते गौर विभाव भूमिस्त्वं निर्देश सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौ श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकम् भक्तावतारं भक्तात्मं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते जयतां सुरनौ पङ्गुर्मम मन्दे दधीः मद सर्वस्व पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदनमोहन दिव्याद्वृन्दावरण्य कल्परुमादः श्रीमाद् रत्नकारधरः सिंहासनस्थितौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविन्द देवौ प्रेतारिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसाम्भिवंशितटस्थितः दर्शन वेणुस्वनिर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथश्रिये स्तुनः सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे नाम हरे नाम केवलं कलौ नास्ति एव नास्ति एव नास्ति एव गतिरन्यथा Hare Krishna, welcome to today's evening's program. Thank you very much for the opportunity to serve you today by discussing Krishna Katha. Today we are discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, verse 3.22. 22. We have already discussed 1 to 3 verses. Today we are discussing 3.23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23. 23 the verses up to 3.21. And the previous two verses we can recap in this translation. Kings such as Janak attained perfection slowly by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, for the sake of educating the people in general, we should perform your work. Krishna says, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. Whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So, Krishna is talking about work in devotion, or Krishna consciousness, or Karma Yoga, who work to do your prescribed duties in a detached way. And now he's talking about himself in this verse. Uh, if you look at the sequence of verses, if you let's go back here. Here there's a chart, and this is the chart of all the verses in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3. So if you go here, this is how you start, and the verses are different. Um, so that here in this chart, they are categorized into various groups, and the where we are right now is three dot. There's that here. Krishna's one example here. So verses 22 to 24 is one sort of group where Krishna is saying about his own duties, his own example as the Supreme Lord, where he wants to set his own example as Supreme. So this is how it is. And we have covered previously from say verse 1 to 1 Krishna's question, the need for action in verse 3 to 8, setting example for others. So like that, it is categorized. So I'm just trying to tell you that this is from 20 to 24 is like one set of verses. So we'll start from 22 and see if we can cover up to 24. Okay, so now let's recite this. Name Parthasti Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana Nana Bhavya. Sorry, I'll just start again. Tavyam Varta Eva Chakarmani Name Parthasti Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana Nana Bhavya Varta Eva Chakarmani. Na, no, me, mine. Partha, O son of Pritha. Pritha is Kunti. Asti, there is Kartavyam, prescribed duty. Trishu, in the three, Lokeshu, planetary systems. Kinchana, any, na, nothing. Ana, va, some, wanted. Ava, savyam, to be gained, worthy. I am engaged. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Karmani, in prescribed duty. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor am I need to obtain anything, yet I am engaged in prescribed duty. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I need to obtain anything, yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. You will also read the purport. Purport by the Divine Grace, 18 Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the Vedic literatures as follows. Tam Ishvaranam Paramam Maheshwaram Tam Devatanam Paramam Cha Devatam Patim Patinam Paramam Parastal Vedana Devam Yuvanesham Divyam Na tasya karyam karunam cha vidyate na tat samas चाभ्याधिकश्च दृश्यते परस्य शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers, and he is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods, and he is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the actions of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed in a as a natural sequence. Svetashvara Vatara Upanishad 6, 7, and 8. Since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no true duty for the supreme personality of Godhead to perform. One must receive the results of work. One who must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged in the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. Okay. I'll read the translation again. O son of Prithal, there is no work prescribed for me within all three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor do I have a need to obtain anything, yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Uh, so this is a verse from the Svetashvatara Upanishad, which Prabhupada has quoted here. And here I've broken it up into its word by word meaning, which is not really necessary but to recite, but you can like look at it. So here, what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying that he is the supreme controller, the greatest controller amongst all the demigods, right? And he is supreme between beyond all transcendental, all other transcendentalists, between all devatas, all among all the three worlds. Means there are three planetary systems: lower, upper, and higher. That is how we are just categorizing the material manifestations. So, and they will all have different controllers. But in all amongst all the controllers, Krishna is the supreme controller. Yet, so he has no, but still he has no duty to perform because all the duties are delegated to the controllers. Yet, when Krishna appears, he performs his duties. So, what are the duties Krishna performs? When Krishna appears, he may appear in one or other um, varnas and one or other ashrams. So, when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, what varna ashram was it? We have the varnashram system, which is now sort of like sort of undercover, although a segment of it exists. And it is Srila Prabhupada's mission to revive the Varnashram as Devi Varnashram system. And that is the unfulfilled part of the mission of Srila Prabhupada. But when Krishna was present physically 5,000 years ago, the Varnashram system was very much prevalent on the earth. So he appeared in a certain Varna, and he took on a certain ashram. So what was his Varna and what was his ashram? What is Varna?
Social order.
Social order. No, Varna is. But what are the four Varnas? Shudra, Vaishya, Brahman, and Kshatriya. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Shudra is the mercantile caste. Vaishya is the no. Shudra is the worker class. Vaishya is the merchant class. Kshatriya is the warrior class, and the Brahmanas are the priestly class. Right. So where was Krishna born? 5,000 years. No, he's born as a Kshatriya in the Kshatriya clan. Right. Right. Is that clear or not clear? Huh?
He known as a Yaduvanshi.
Yaduvanshi. Yes. Yes. Yeah, he was a king.
Then he is both in connection between Yaduvanshi and Krishna. Besides Yadavas.
Yadavas. Yes. Yes. Yaduvanshi. There is a connection between the Pandava, the Vansh of the Pandavas, and the Pandavas, the Vansh of Krishna. Pritha or Kunti Maharani is Krishna's Bua, his father's sister. And who is Krishna's father? Vasudeva. So they have a relation. So Krishna was born as a in the warrior clan or as a Kshatriya. In Vrindavan, did he exhibit that pastime?
He was born of finding all wonders.
That's true. True enough. Krishna, you cannot hold to any particular Varna. No, but for the matter of etiquette, we understand that way. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. But like in Vrindavan, he did not exhibit any pastimes as a Kshatriya, although he was still killing the demons. So the लीला दिखाई पर लीला में demons को भी मारा, demons को मारा, right? तो demons को मारने की जो लीला है वो क्षत्रिय वाली लीला है ना?
इसलिए इविल को करा सकती है किसी को व्यवस्था में.
हाँ.
इविल को मारा है.
Evil को मारा, हाँ.
वो पर्सनली फाइट करते थे. ये गलत.
He personal fight. Krishna is.
He was in the Krishna.
Vaishya.
What shall we say?
No, but see, he was born to Vasudeva, but he lived in the Vrindavan with Nand Maharaj, right? So that is why you can see. But you see, but still, when he went back to Mathura, and then he went to Dwarka and he became the ruler of Dwarka. So Kshatriya. That's true. That's true enough. That's true. But for the sake of this in the Bhagavad Gita discussion, he is आप जो बोल रहे हैं एकदम सच है क्योंकि वो क्षत्रिय है पर अभी क्या कर रहे हैं वो अर्जुन का रथ हाँक रहे हैं राइट सो इज द क्वालिटी ऑफ क्षत्रिय नो वो तो शूद्र का काम अभी कर रहे हैं But he is doing his duties, right? The point is that he's doing his duties, and he's being very innovative at times in terms of the duties he does need to do because he's the supreme lord. He's beyond the Varnashram.
He's except as a supreme lord, collection of all.
Yes, yeah. So that's right.
Right. Given that he is supreme lord and he has created all of this, the creator cannot be sort of part of what he is.
But he still has matter of etiquette most of the time. वो क्षत्रिय अपना etiquette कर रहे हैं और कौन से आश्रम में है वो आश्रम कौन सा है उनका नहीं गृहस्थ आश्रम में है वो अभी द्वारका में जब हम गृहस्थ आश्रम का परफेक्टली पालन कर उनकी कितनी रानियां 16,108 रानियां हैं, और जब वो जाते हैं तो he expands into those many forms, and those many palaces are there, and he's you know, doing the duties perfectly of in the Gharas ashram simultaneously. That itself shows the Supreme Lord, because nobody else can do that at all, right?
He got that.
He got that. Nobody can imitate him, and nobody can physically be present in 16,108 forms at the same time and manifest those pastimes. So when he used to leave Dwarka, all the 16,108 forms will become one, and he's going to Mathura or to his Hastinapur. When he comes back, again the 16,108 forms will manifest and enter their respective palaces. And simultaneously, he will do these pastimes. That is not possible by any person. But he's doing, the point is that he's doing his duties as a Grahastha and as a Kshatriya perfectly. Right. So, what's the Lord's position according to the verse? He's supreme above all other controllers. Who are the other controllers? Can we name some controllers so that we understand? Because this Bhagavad Gita verse clearly establishes the supremacy of Krishna over all other controllers. So we must understand who the other controllers are. Yes, yes, very correct. So can we name, understand some? So we understand who are the other controllers of Indra and Mama. There are so many. So let's name, say, the major controllers. Shiva, Shiva, Brahma, Varuna, then Surya. Yeah. So these are the controllers, and they have the different positions, and they manifest the material, the control over the material nature. It otherwise it will go out of balance and be not have any order. It will be completely disorder. So within the disorder of the material world, there is certain order which is perfect, which is maintained by the devtas, demigods, or the controllers, right? So, but this verse establishes his supremacy of upon all controllers and all living entities. Now, as a supreme controller, does he have any obligation to do any work or do anything at all? He's a supreme controller. He did not do anything. But does he do that? Because if he does that, what will happen? If he does not do his work, we'll see what happens. Because he has to set an example. He has no obligation to work. He is self-sufficient, Atmaram. Yet he works. Even when he's present, he does work. What is the work he's doing? He's acting as a friend to the Pandavas. He's having relationship with the gopis, with his queens, with the coward boys, or with all the Brajvasis. Then he has a family relation with his father, mother, and in this way, he has very many duties to perform, which is doing. He has from each of his wives 10 sons, and each of the sons have 10 sons each. So how many grandsons, grandchildren? Yes. So those many duties is performing. He's doing all this work, right? But you see the scale is not even, it is not a very small scale for him. But to show an example, he's doing that I'm Supreme Lord. For us, even to do one is sufficient. Even one duty is sufficient. But he's showing us the example that as Supreme Lord, I'm doing so much, so much. Right? And he has the complete authority. This verse shows he has complete authority. He is supreme controller and he is the ultimate master. So that being that he has natural powers, because of his knowledge, strength, this work he's doing is not ordinary work. It's not cannot be done by ordinary man. So these activities he has are distinguished from mundane work. So what are these activities? Say, let's say look at the Mahabharata and the Gita. What are some of the activities which distinguish him from mundane work?
That's when he acted as messenger.
uh,
When he acted as a messenger.
messenger, he showed this Virat Movie. Okay, in Vrindavan, he was a baby, but he is killing so many Trinavrat, Bakasur, and Putana, and all those demons he killed is way, and that Dhenukasur, way beyond a small baby's capabilities, right? That shows that he has powers beyond the mundane powers. And then he went to Mathura and killed Chanur and Mushti. And then he killed Kans. I killed the mad elephant also before that. So this is not possible by any mundane, no, any kind of mortal being. That shows that he is the ultimate controller. He has all the strength, all the power, all the knowledge, all the fame, all the renunciation, all the wealth. So these six things distinguish Krishna from living entities. Anybody who has all these six qualities, you can understand that he is Krishna. And he manifested that in full when he is present. Right? So this verse carries the message of the Bhagavad Gita in terms of Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead very well. But it also carries the meaning about work because Krishna wants to set an example about work. So we have to do our duties perfectly. And what are those duties is something we'll have to figure out and we'll discuss further. So what I say here is this understanding supports the core message of Bhagavad Gita 2.2, where Krishna explains that although he has no duties, he still acts to set an example for others, demonstrating perfect leadership through personal conduct rather than mere theoretical instruction. So if he just says this Bhagavad Gita and doesn't say do anything to support it, we may believe that this is the supreme controller who is saying these things. We would not. We'll have a tough time believing because he has done these activities. Now he's saying I'm the supreme controller. That carries a lot of weight. Right. So as a leader, Krishna is setting the example, the supreme example about how to do our duties perfectly. Okay, now how do we do? How to take home this message and actually, first of all, understand Krishna's supreme controller and what is the goal of life if he is the supreme controller, having understood that. That is one point. Second point is how do we do our duties perfectly? What are our duties only which we need to do perfectly? Because now Krishna is the leader, we have to follow him, we have to do our own duties perfectly. Right. So let's look at the second part first, and first part we'll look at next. So we have two. So one duty is as per our swabha, and other set of duties is as per our swarup. Now, what are these two duties? What is our swabha in this material world? What is our swabha? Okay. So let's see, Prabhuji, what you do? Huh?
So what do you do?
What do you do, matlab, like what is your profession or what are your material activities as such?
Have a family,
Huh?
go to job,
What kind of job?
10 to 6, like
No, but what are you doing in your job? That's the question.
I do marketing, so like I take care of marketing.
Marketing. Marketing. So what kind of function is that marketing?
So
It's no, I understand. But in this Varnashram system, so you said you have a family. That means you're Grahastha. And in ashram, what is ashram? I mean, Varna. Varna, what is the Varna? Whether it is Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, or Brahmana. No, not for him. For him.
it's not Kshatriya and Brahmana for sure, but yeah, somewhere fashion.
Business function. No, marketing is a business function. Okay. So so this is not a very scientific analysis, but we have a certain sabha. So we are going to have this soon over here. There is this Prem Nidhi Prabhu's class. He is a devotee. This class we had yesterday in Gaurav house. And we are going to go over this course here, like between. So I will be going over this course with all of us, in which we will try to understand our Swabha also as one of the things. And it was very interesting discussion. So Prabhuji classifies into type 1, 2, 3, 4, according to some classifications. I know Varnashram has a different classification. As per Ayurveda, you have Kaf, Pitta, Vata is the Prakriti of a person. And you can understand how the person is, what is the Swabhav in terms of his inclination to work, to do any kind of work. So the point I'm trying to make is that we have to do our activities in this world as per our Swabhav and choose the right Varnashram. Right. So there is somebody, no, the other ashram, we go through, it's supposed to be, you have supposed to start with brahmacharya and then go on to grahastha, vanaprastha and sannyas. And that is supposed to be done by each and every person. That's how it used to be. Right. Now, uh, leaving that apart, there are some practical difficulties around that. But still, it is said that after the age of 50, take retirement or like take vanaprastha. Do not work for money, serve the society, and do preaching activities. That is the modern definition of vanaprastha. And then sannyas could be something else. Sannyas would be retired from even that. Right. Okay. Now, in terms of varna, varna is something we have to do our duties as per our swabha. Something we are meant to do. So, if somebody has inclination for say fine arts, he may choose fine arts as a profession. Somebody wants to do research, may become a researcher. Somebody wants to do business, may do business. Somebody has like that, so is classified. And we cannot consider that any of these varnas are not important. It's just that today's world it's become corrupted, and you have a situation where some people feel exploited, and there is a lot of hue and cry about this system, saying that everybody is equal. So if everybody is equal, everybody is the spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. So they're equal. But in this world, you are born with certain inclination to work, and that defines your varna. And it is not by birth. Krishna does say very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita that your varna is not by birth. So that needs to be decided by a sabha.
Let's look over that from you. Where he places this.
I don't remember the shloka, but there is it's very, very clearly said. So now, when no, there are sanskaras done when a child is born.
But not like upgraded or downgraded.
It's not about upgraded or downgraded. Your varna is be what it is, what is the work you're doing.
That is not decided as per.
It's not decided as per birth. You could be born in a Brahmana family and be a Kshatriya.
Out this part will go like the this part will go like the create. This part will go like the
That is Krishna.
Asia. And this one is the class. Can you say that this type will be that one? Yes, yeah, you can be here. There is no specification with each other. Then it's a one is how the manage the management system. How it's not the management system. We had public informations.
Right. Then we have forgot of this knowledge, but we need to revive it. So, for example, there's one sanskar. When the Namkaran sanskar of a child happens, of a born. So there is a sanskar called Namkaran sanskar, in which the child is shown a pot of earth, coins, a copy of the Bhagavatam, and some gram.
It must become
So the inclination of the child. Yes, Roji will take questions at the end. So of the child. So when the Namkaran sanskar, we show him all these items. If he chooses, say, a book, the Bhagavatam, then he could be a Brahmana. If he chooses the earth, then he could be a Vaishya. Oh, no, money, no. What is that? No, if he chooses say money, then he could be a Vaishya. And if he chooses the earth, he could be a Shudra. Like that, in the Namkaran Sanskar, they try to determine the Varna in this way of the child. And that was used to be done and it's still done. And it is scientific because why? Because the child, what is he naturally attracted to, that will come when he's a child. Now he has no other, has no vocabulary, nothing, he knows nothing. What is he attracted to? That will be his one.
Major person created this industrial fire.
Right.
So here gradually you will like depending upon so how you are sort of like, even in one job. For example, the marketing. It's very a lot more psychological. How do I what do I do so that it's managed for business? So in a way, sort of shifting or let's say influencing the masses simultaneously. Like that's in a way my job. Like how do I tell you the story that so and so brand is good? Now technically if you say this job, person major not necessarily like involves any kind of financial transaction. Of course, it's more into the space of understanding you, understanding your behavior, and then acting, trying to act via that in some way, saying something so that it's consistent. Now, sometimes in your life you do this kind of job. Sometimes you go very aggressive, like fiercely aggressive in doing something, or ensuring that something has to happen in the office. I want this now. I will get the entire team work over the weekend.
Right.
Make this happen.
So that's a Kshatriya kind of function where it's managed in.
Sort of keep on. I mean, though you have a certain nature, though you may want to do a certain kind of job. So this I love marketing, and this I am there. So I have chosen purposefully that okay, I will not go to buffets. Like will more like a Kshatriya kind of thing. It just happened naturally. I studied in army school, but I could have gone to NTA, but very relatively easy for me. I cracked exams, but I chose not. So it seems that you have a Kshatriya nature and you may be doing the work of a Vaishya. So that happens also sometimes. Um, you see, Dronacharya, he's supposed to be a Brahmana, but he's fighting a war. And Vishwamitra, he was born a king, and he was actually a king, but then he wants to become a Brahmana. So this change of Varna is also something which is allowed as per the Varnashram system. But largely, you see that the system, because the law of karma applies normally in a Brahmana, a person with Brahmanic inclinations would be born as per the law of karma. Because why? Because the activities the Brahmana is performing will naturally attract those souls who want to be Brahmanas. So that's why it's not as if that because he's born he's a Brahmana. This is that because he's doing Brahmanical activities, he's attracting souls who want to be Brahmanas. That's why the Brahmana sons may be a Brahman. That is by inheritance, but it is not by inheritance, it's by your guna and karma. Yes. But you are right that sometimes the varna can also change. Your basic nature is your varna. Now you can of course in that do certain activities which are uh, as per another one. So you may be a Kshatriya in your nature. And we can determine that your Swabha in a modern way. Now it's very difficult to determine exactly this Varna, but we can determine as per the Swabha as the modern terminology in type 1, 2, 3, 4 or Kaspitavad. And that is possible and that will do in this class also. That is in the subsequent weeks. Actually, there are 16 archetypes, like, power to name planets. So important.
Enneagram, as per Enneagram, so as per social characteristics, there are big five, which is openness, extraversion, agreeableness, uh, extraversion, and neuroticism. These are the five ocean characteristics which describe the personality of a person. That is called the big five. There's another typology like 16, you said that's called the Enneagram. And Premnidhi Prabhu has this type 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 personalities, which I can show right now because I have the screenshot. Where is that? Just a minute. So let's say the type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. Type 1 wants to have fun. So whatever he do is like very much fun.
Yeah, so this again, I studied this in marketing.
Marketing is studied.
Yes, sir.
Nonsense.
We continue for we sort of archetype, call it archetype.
Archetype, huh?
There are archetypes of which let's say all of us, for instance, there is a certain kind of archetype of each person. So let's say, if you remember, Dumbledore is Harry Potter. You know that character. So he is a third archetype, stage archetype, right? You know, so he will fall into the school these like not that part of it. Let's say we look at some brands, for instance, in for instance, it's a very, very fun, outgoing kind of brand. So in case you have seen Synthol like that, it's more like a fun into the fun. Who? Synthol so brand.
Yeah.
Give it here.
Okay. I mean, you are basically, so basically, this is what everybody is a combination of these four types. One type of maybe predominantly. So somebody who has a lot of fun in terms of his work is he wants to have fun all the time, and that is type one. Type two, he wants to have a lot of control over the situation, control on people, manage like managerial character. Type three is very perfectionist, perfection in each and everything, and type four is he just wants to be peaceful and he doesn't really want to do anything at all. But those people are very capable, but they have been prodded to do anything at all. That basically is this typology here, and everybody will be combination of these as well. So this helps to understand how people work. Like I can understand like how you're working, how I'm complementing. This helps in family relationships also because Prabhuji said that normally husband and wife are opposite traits. They won't be the same because they are complementing each other. But they need to understand the differences. Otherwise, they'll be constantly complaining about the other person. Like so so perfection means, for example, a housewife may be a perfectionist in terms of arranging all the clothes in a particular order properly. This drawer, this way, everything you know where it is. That could be an example of perfection. And the husband may not be perfectionist, but then it's complementary. That's why you have this guna matching. When the gunas are matched, or the honor matching before marriages, these are complementary gunas, not the same. So that they're matching, they're complementing each other. So this is important so that we harmonize our relationships, we understand the differences and work in harmony with others. And we'll understand each other's types and work accordingly like that. So which type is whom? Type 4. Peaceful. Okay.
Type 4.
Type 4. Okay. Prabhuji, what about you?
Sometimes
4 and 3. 4 and 3. Perfection and peace. Okay. 4 and 3.
1, 4.
1, 4. Fun and control. Okay. All right. So good. So this helps to. So Prabhuji has a lot of detail about it, and it's in that book also.
It's getting very
Complicated. Very.
imagine get access going through it and like no in that get access is like the individualistic versus institutionalistic. Individualistic. I don't think which are like more individualistic. It has got nothing to do with virtue. The nice is like I want to create an ordinary society, I want to sure. That other things are better for you. So then it becomes like as sure.
Yeah.
Then
So so this is Swabha. So the idea is we understand what is Swabha. And what is Swarupa? So Swabha is what you do in your daily activities, your duties. Duties are very important for Krishna consciousness because it keeps you grounded in your work. These duties are very important. Why are they important? Because they keep society grounded and functional. They keep your family functional. But that is not the goal of life. The goal of life is your Swarupa. So what is the Swarupa? What is the Swarup duty? And what is the Swarupa actually? What is it called? What does it mean?
the real you.
The real us. What is the real us? We are spirit, soul, part and parcel of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna. We understand that. We must understand that. That is our Swarupa. But to understand that, realize that, though we may understand it theoretically, but we need to understand it really. We need to realize that. So what do we need to do? So do we do dharma, artha, kama, moksha, or we do some other process for that? Bhakti, yes, that's true. We do bhakti, but exactly how is the question. So let's look at something around that. So there is a process described in the Shastra called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You must have heard of it, right? What is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha? You do your duties. We are talking about duties, so it's very relevant. We're talking about Varnashram duties here, right? Here. And then you get wealth using those duties. Then remove the wealth you satisfy your desire, which is Kama. And then when you become frustrated with those, satisfying your desire, then you say, oh, nah, this is not what I want. Now I want moksha, I want freedom from all this. Right? Now, there's this a spiritual principle which is not something which devotees want to follow. Or although we may have to follow, in a sense we do follow it, but it is not the ideal goal. Moksha is not the ideal goal. And how do we contrast it? What do we actually need to do? So we have this Prakriti Marg, which is material engagement. Nivritti Marg is what we need to do. While even if we are part of the this system of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, but when you practice devotional service, how does it become changed? And as we'll see, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, these are the four Purusha arts. And there is a fifth Purusha, as per Srila Prabhupada, which gets added. Right? Okay. So now let's see. It's a prema. Devotees do not want moksha. Devotees want prema or love of God. And means love. As I love. Yes. So let's say contrast the Pravritti Marg and say so, sort of what is called the Nivritti Marg. And we can tailor this into our life. So duties prescribed for one's occupation stage in the life, as per the Varnashram Dharma, is your duty. But what is your actual duty? Actual duty is understanding one's eternal relationship with Krishna as a servant. So in terms of the Swarupa duty, we need to do this sambandha. What is this? What is called? It's called sambandha. Understanding your relationship with Krishna. Right? And who is the deciding deity of sambandha jnana? Who is that? Huh? It's Krishna only, but what form of Krishna? See, we recited the Mangalacharan just a few minutes ago. Just maybe like 1 hour ago or something. I don't know. But you see, this is the Sambandha Videya. Sambandha Adideva Pranam. So what does this say? Who is this? What is this deity? Who is this Krishna? What is this form? Radha Madan Mohan. Radha Mohan. Right? So Radha Madan Mohan is the deciding duty of Sambandha Jnana. So we have the Radha Madan Mohan temple. And these are the deities. And in Bombay also we have Radha Madan Mohan. Where are they located? Radha Madan Mohan in Mumbai are located in ISKCON Kharghar. Okay. These let's go back. So for Samandhyan, we need to pray to Radha Madan. And that is the Pranam Mantra in the Mangala Charan. The Mangala Charan is to be recited before chanting all our prayers, before Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class, before chanting our rounds also, we should try to chant the Mangala Charan. Because that way you invoke the mercy of the Guru Parampara and as well as the Sambandh Devta. Or that is Krishna only. But the specific form of Krishna for Sambandha Jnana is Madan Mohana. His mantra is the Pranam. Okay. Now, the materialist is now accumulating wealth for his livelihood, comfort, and societal dealings. Artha. Simultaneously, what are you doing in Abhidya? Abhidya is the process. Someone is, you have established your relationship with Krishna. Now, the process, now knowing that you are Krishna's servant, how do you get it? How do you realize it? You just know, but you have no knowledge of it internally. So, you have to do the process of Abhidya. So, this process is where you have to do that is, of course, you have to do your sadhana. You have to do your 16 rounds and not just 16 rounds. All the other sadhana we are prescribing, 4 regulative principles and everything. So that is part of the Abhidya process. But in terms of the contrast with the Artha, you have to use your wealth to serve Krishna while being detached. So that will be the process of Abhidya. Now, Kama, as per that system is of satisfying our desires and sensory pleasures. These will be completely distracting if we get into that. If we try to satisfy our desires. This is something we have to absolutely not do. In the sense, direct all our desires towards loving and serving Krishna. It's not as if we are going to restrict our activities or our senses in that sense. We are going to do the same activities as anybody who is not actually directing towards Krishna. But only thing is we have dedicated each and every action of karma or the desires towards Krishna consciousness. So let's understand that in little bit detail. So after this we are going to have Prashadam. That is going to satisfy our tongue. But because it's Prashadam, what is the prayer? Prayer is that we have satisfied, we are going to enjoy it as Krishna Prashadam. And that will help us to conquer the tongue. We don't want the Prashadam to become an impediment in our devotional service. We don't want food, the enjoyment of food, to become an impediment in our devotional service. That's why we offer it and now it's Prashadam to help us conquer the tongue. The tongue has two functions. It keeps talking nonsense and it wants to eat more and more delicious food. So both these things will be conquered just by having Krishna. Okay. Prayojan. Prayojan is that you have the ultimate liberation of achieving Krishna Prema, divine love. Okay, before we go, who is the deity for Abhidaya? It is Radha Govinda Dev. Here, this is Radha Govinda. Okay, so in Mumbai, where is Radha Govinda? It's called Balkam Thane.
Not the party.
It's called Balkam Thane. The new temple there has Radha Govinda ji. Okay, and Prayojan Dev, Radha Gopinath is the Prayojan Dev.
Planned like that, like certainly nice names were planned like that.
I suppose so. And Radha Rasbihari is also Prayojan Dev. It is the same deity. Okay, it's the rasa. Now you've achieved the Krishna Prema, and your relationship is revealed by Gopinath and Radha Rasbihari. So on Monday you go first to Thane, take darshan of first of all you go to Kharghar, take darshan of Madan Mohan, establish a relationship that I am servant of Krishna. Then you go and take blessings of Radha Govindji in Thane, and then come to Gopinath, take darshan of Radha Gopinath, and you would have done all the Prayojan Devtas. Okay, so coming back to this analysis, how are we doing on time?
We have till.
Huh?
We have till.
Okay, okay. So moksha. So we are comparing moksha and prayojan. Moksha means now I'm very frustrated. I have tried to satisfy my desires, but it is so frustrating, so difficult, and I don't want to deal with this anymore. And I want to get rid of everything. I want to merge into the Brahman. That is out of frustration. Moksha. That is the whole cycle. But devotees don't reject moksha because what we want is the loving relationship with Krishna, with Radha Gopinath, and that is the love of God, and that's achieved by pure devotional service, and that is the goal of pure devotional service. So that's how. So we have our duties as Swabha and Swarupa. Both of these are parallel in this chart, and they have been dovetailed together. And how we do it is your creativity, but that is what the process is. Okay. So now the process of devotional service we follow is of course chanting the holy name as given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We also follow what is called the four negative principles. How do they help here? In the adharma, artha, kama, moksha, they serve as ethical behavior to practice dharma effectively because even the dharma, artha, kama, moksha means that you must do things as per dharma. And the four negative principles ensure that they help in that your duties also. But they are the foundation for practicing abhidheya and achieving prayojan. Now, having understood that I am eternal servant of Krishna, part and parcel of spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, we must follow the four negative principles, and that is the foundational practice of our abhidheya. Why so? Because you see, otherwise you'll be distracted by kama, and you'll misuse your wealth. Right? You get into misuse of wealth by gambling. Kama is all the other sense gratification. So no gambling, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication. So that ensures it is covered in the Abhidheya. Right? It's very clear. Is there any doubt around that? Right? Right. Okay. Also, there is these Bhagavad Gita quotations around this. So the Bhagavad Gita 2.31 actually talks about Swarupa and the point I'm making here about Swarupa and Swabha. It's making that point in Bhagavad Gita 2.31. Uh, the Artha, so this is 4.11. The wealth. So all these quotations are there. If you want, I can share this down. And the nectar of instruction is about controlling the senses. The nectar of instruction, verse 1, is all about the four negative principles. Right? Vacho Vegam, Manaso Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Utan Vegam, Nisharita Dhira. So anybody who is able to control his senses is Dhira, a sober person. So this is essential. Okay, so that was that. Um, so with that, this is Radha Gopinath, and we have achieved. So we have a loving relationship with him. He's our Ishtadev, and I'm now instead of talking in say prose, I'm doing some of my talking in poetry here. Okay, so let me read this poem. My sweet Lord Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, thou art most sublime and full of bliss. Your brilliantly effulgent face, every sorrow does efface. You dwell not only in the forest of Vrindavan, but also in the heart of each beloved one, outshining the moon by your divine effulgence, while sporting in the gardens of Vrindavan, a unique divergence. The birds and trees of Mathura are entranced by your divine aura. The creepers, plants, and trees are all caught in your intoxicating breeze. Dust particles of Raja, which abound, your feet touch them, in bliss they drown. By your causeless mercy, you thought it worthy to appear in Mumbai city. On us, did you take pity? Or did you surrender to someone's desire to make this your land? Please do ever abide here, as only your presence does make us bear. The burning forest fire, which consumes us quite entire. Only your causeless mercy to us who are unworthy gives us a tinge of hope, a sort of very long rope. Can we ever aspire to be part of your divine sport? Your holy name is the only transport. Thank you very much. With that, we can take any questions. Yes, sir. Can take any questions. Or we can discuss further till the time we have. Okay, so
have this query slash query. So I will just build up on that query which we were discussing. More often than not, we know that at least if all of us are sitting here broadly, at least at this point of time, we are in the mode of goodness. But attempting to be in mode of goodness. More often than not, when we go back home also, for a good period of time, we'll be in mode of goodness. Relatively, at least versus other friends and circle that we have. Now, whenever we take up the work that we do, the work can vary. Like, the part of the work can also sort of be in might be demanding a certain mode. It could be fast. Maybe it be ignorance also sometimes, like, just delay things. Let's say, or let's say just don't, but because maybe that's what is needed at that point of time. So, like, what do you suggest, like, in such situations, given that you're on boards, like, sometimes you yourself are in Sattvic, Tamasic, Guna, sometimes the work is in different zone, and, like, you want to, go with that zone to that zone, and sometimes you feel frustrated, like, okay, ye kya ho raha hai mere sath, like, ye kya ho raha hai mere sath because of this, I should not have this, maybe I should do a little differently, maybe I should just leave the job sometimes. So what do you recommend to and how to take that?
So what you're saying is the work demands that you work in a certain way, and sometimes you get carried over by the modes of material nature. Sometimes the passion, goodness, or ignorance, and so on and so forth.
Let's say, we would just make it more clear. For instance, I might suddenly decide that I want to do PhD. It is not suddenly after completing my IIT, or let's say after completing IIM, after doing some job. I felt that yeah, ये बहुत हो गया, ये job में मजा नहीं आ रहा. Maybe I will just become a professor and shit. Despite my age, right? I'm just taking this particular example because somewhere you are in that stage, Prabhu. But then suddenly, when I reach that life and when I start working there, I feel that oh shit, it's more of passion than anything else. Like I need to do a lot of research, I need to teach a lot, I need to fight so much of politics. So many things are there. So, in such situations, like, how do you handle people? Let's say if something like that happens to you. One thing, of course, continue doing what's right. But what you tell yourself immediately at that point of time, whenever you uh, encounter
So
situations.
I would say in all of these things, we need to be Krishna conscious all the time. You have to say, always remember Krishna and never forget him. So once we do that, everything gets sorted. And how do you remember Krishna all the time?
Getting everything to him.
So we are trying to work for Krishna. Say, for example, we are trying to say, dedicate the work to Krishna. So what the result we get, we may give it to Krishna. That is still possible. And that is still possible. That's something possibly all of us are doing. But what Shekhar Prabhu is asking is something different. How can we keep our consciousness straight and aligned while there are so many ups are there? Um, so I would say we have to follow ethical principles all the time. We have to be in the mode of in that way we have to be in the proper mood all the time. Not any time get in the mood of backbiting, pinching, or hurting anybody, because that will be breaking the regulative principle of meat eating. The moment we try to hurt somebody or no do any of these activities, it's ahimsa. So be Krishna conscious that we don't want to do meat eating. No meat eating, no intoxication. Intoxication means attachment to any result, any wrong result. Any legitimate result is fine. So no intoxication, no gambling, no taking chances that doing this in a wrong way will get me some better result. So that for example, just trying to undercut something like process ऐसे करके मुझे फायदा हो गया. So that is gambling. And no illicit sex in this scenario would be in the workplace would be trying to associate too much with opposite sex or thinking about them or doing around. So I'll say we have to be Krishna conscious in all respects all the time. And even though that is not easy, that is an endeavor we have to try to do. And if you try to do that, you'll see that you will be guided by the Paramatma within. And you wouldn't need to get into the mode of ignorance or passion as much. You may try to be in the mode of goodness all the time. And that, in my opinion, it will lead to better results. And that's not, I'm not saying it can be done in a day, but with practice, if you try to do it, how to keep your consciousness straight is that you need to carry some insignia with you to reminds you that you're a devotee all times. All times. What is that? You already have some. You have your Kanti Mala with you, right? What else can you carry with you?
Thoughts image wherever you are.
Yeah, where you are sitting, right? But you can't carry into the conference room.
By you, once in a while you do look at your mobile in conferences.
Yeah, so that will help you to remind. You need reminders that not be carried away by the situation I'm in. I need to be in the situation I'm in. I need to find for sure, but I need to be Krishna conscious all the time. Right. And you can also wear a tilak if that is possible. And sometimes devotees are wearing tilak to work. I'm not saying it's practical or possible for everybody, but that will keep your consciousness completely straight. Even if you can't wear tilak which is visible, wear tilak which is water, because what is purifying in the tilak is your mantra, the mantras which say that. So the 16 places where you anoint your body with tilak, you can do it within in the visible places with tilak. And if you want to keep the forehead invisible, then do it with water. But please be sure to do it. That will keep you straight, sane, because those mantras will act to keep you in a mode of goodness. And of course, the prasadam and the meals at the workplace, we have to be very careful about. Every time you drink water, you can offer the water. How do you offer water? You take it in a cup and offer to the deities, or you just do something else right before drinking it.
You
Just offer it.
put it in what?
Yeah, in your mind. You offer it in your mind. Huh?
You bring Tulsi Maharani and just
Yeah, you can have Tulsi Maharani. But even if you don't offer it in your mind, because you have to do something which is possible for you. So in your mind, you offer the water. So every time you drink water, you are thinking of Krishna. Because you have offered that water to Krishna. So that is devotional service. So the idea is that you are conscious and Krishna conscious all the time. We are doing your devotional duties all the time. Once we do that, then we can become more and more and more Krishna conscious. Any other questions? I hope that helps. I'm not sure if that is the right answer, but that's what I practical answer. Anybody else has a question? Question? Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
thank you. Thanks for taking the class.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So let's have some kirtan or just take the shana. So who's gonna lead? Oh, me. Okay. I'm not good at kirtan, but I will try. Nama Om Vishnu Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitina Hine Gauri Mani Vachmani Nishnisha Shunya Sakti Panatu Deshutam Hine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Priyadvaita Gadadabhi Shivaswadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Krishna Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Sri Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Rama Rama Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Sri Narayana Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. Thank you very much. Let's take the prasadam now. Somebody can say the prasadam, please. Sharira Vidyaja Gare Vyakare Ine Pare Shasare Tara Madhya Vivati Namo Surunde Kade Tara Jagan Sansare Krishna Varanam Kadima Vichi Vash Samsada Nima Sena Brahma Shri Rama Krishna Deveda Krishna Chetana Gita Janita Janita Veshin Krishna 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 Jai. There's this special prasadam from Tiruvananthapuram, Sri Padmanabha Swami. The Padmanabhan Swami temple, which is the most popular temple in all of the world, as such.
You had gone to
I had gone there about 3 weeks ago. It's prasadam from there. So the Padmanabhan Swami is there, is the reclining pose. Krishna is there. This is in Tiruvananthapuram. Very special prasadam. That form is there on the tin, the Lord. You can see. Take the restaurant.
we we